Hey guys, this is Aaron Jimenez. Hey, so the I've been thinking a lot about this. The content that I want to bring to you as the viewer is just information from a clinician, a licensed clinician's perspective. And part of my job as a clinician, especially when I'm working with couples or when I'm working with somebody who's experiencing a lot of stress, is to bring some sort of balance to a situation. And so, by balance, what I mean when I say balance is just simply this: how do we adequately look at both perspectives at the same time and give weight to both? Because as you're probably aware, um, our culture does not typically tend to give empathy to the opposing side. And so, life is honestly much better and easier when we are able to give empathy to both sides. But unfortunately, the outside fringes are really pulling at us for our attention and clickbait. So it really it pulls on us, and so we have to make a decision. So, one of the things that I want to get into is this: how do we find some sort of balance with the Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, in the USAID discussion, right? And I think I found the balance. I think I found the piece that is really creating the most stress, and it's simply this. When I was in college, you know, Ethics 101 asks. Would you do you consider yourself an honest and virtuous person? And then of course everybody says yes for the most part. And then the question is, would you still loaf of bread to feed your family if your family was starving? And then you get into ethics, and of course it's such a simple, non uh, just dumb question. And everybody gives their supposed, thoughts and views, and people are like yes or no, and this is why, or in the middle. So the question is this: this is the ethical dilemma that exists with USAID. Is this is is it is it is it ethical? Is it good? Is it virtuous to give a starving child $10 so they can eat if you have to give a very wealthy person $100,000? That is the ethics. That is the ethics behind USAID and Doge and Trump and Elon Musk. Is do we do that? Do we give? Sorry, I just saw somebody. I had to wave. do we do we give aid to this starving child if it means we give a wealthy person more money? And honestly, that's the ethics. That's where it lies. And some people will be able to say yes. Some people will be able to say no, just like Ethics 101. Will you still a loaf of bread to feed your family if your family was starving? Some were able to say yes. Some were able to say no. So that's the ethics that we struggle with today. And I remember, and I haven't looked up any further back, but I remember in the 90s, this was a big deal. And of course, I'm a product of the 90s. So this was a big deal with George W. Bush and line item vetoes, if you remember that. Um, a package would come through the federal government, and let's say I'm driving on a bridge right now. So let's say it's a package to make bridges safer, right? And it's I don't know, $30 million to make bridges safer. And then at the last minute, a senator from, I don't want to alienate anybody, so a senator from a state that doesn't exist would say, yes, but I'm going to throw in $10 million to save the dying wolf plant's tree habitat in the northern part of my state. And then somebody else said, "Oh, well, if we're doing that, then I would like to throw in $5 million to help the starving red ants in Bulgaria." And so in the 90s, we call this pork spending. And President Bush, I believe, if I remember correctly, was able to do line item veto, which, if I'm correct, has since been rescinded, and that's no longer a thing. You have to throw out the entire package. But it is a way for governments and entities, and it's not just U.S. governments; it's all governments, to package up these things and sell a good, and then if you dare to veto it, how dare you? Now children are going to starve, Medicare is not going to get filled, and the U.S. troops are not going to get paid, and no one's going to feed them, right? And you're going, no, it's not that. I don't want to give $20 million to the Save a Red Truck Foundation. And so the same is true with USAID, which is, are we willing to not give starving children money if it means that a very wealthy person does not get their weekly allowance? That's essentially what this comes down to. And unfortunately, it is politics, and it's politicians utilizing subjects, us, to pit each other against each other, pit us against each other, and unfortunately, that's where we're at. But this is just a breakdown of the USAID fight that we are all having on social media, or that we're all experiencing. And honestly, it's the fight that's keeping people glued to television sets and social media and clicking. Unfortunately, and we will all click on those articles, especially if we believe wholeheartedly in not allowing children to starve, and if we believe wholeheartedly in not giving wealthy people more money from taxpayer money. So thank you very much. I hope this was insightful. And this is the first time I'm going to say this, so I've never said this before, so I'm going to see how it feels, if I feel good about this or not. But smash that like and subscribe button. See, it's weird. I don't know. But genuinely, if you do like the content that I'm starting to produce now, subscribe. And then you'll be notified of when I put out more videos, because I love this direction. So thank you very much, guys, and I hope to talk with you again soon. Goodbye.